Back again on another movie talks and not a fragrance review. And as you know, I'm also a big fan of James Bond 007. And this video has been suggested by a very good friend of mine and a friend of this channel, Ben Champion. So I found his idea clever idea, and I decided to make this live with you. So what we are going to talk about? We are going to talk about James Bond 007 with the new era. Why it's a new era? Because you might heard or you might haven't heard yet that the iconic Broccoli and Wilson, the original producer of James Bond 007, better known as Eon Production, they signed a new deal with Amazon and MGM boss Jeff Bezos, and now they are doing a joint venture. What does it mean, a joint venture? It means simply that the creative materials and all the creative choices now belong to Amazon, MGM, or belong directly to Jeff Bezos. And this is a kind of, for me, it's a kind of little bit odd and a little bit sad because it's the end of an era. Why it's the end of an era? Because the production of James Bond 007 for more than 60 years was in the hand of the Broccoli's family. And Cubby Broccoli started, but didn't really start it because he wanted to get the rights of James Bond novels from Ian Fleming, and he was not able to get it. And finally, he got a lucky draw because a very clever and very witty guy named Harry Saltzman, he got the deal. He got the rights of the novels of James Bond 007, and then they started to make a joint venture together, and they became the iconic producers of the James Bond 007 saga for over 20-25 years. They started to make all those iconic movies, Dr. No, From Russia with Love, then Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Diamonds Are Forever, and then Live and Let Die, and then The Man with the Golden Gun. And after The Man with the Golden Gun, Harry Saltzman, he got a little bit sick, and also he was very covered by debts, and so he sold his part of the shares to Cubby Broccoli. Some people say that the Cubby wasn't very nice with him and stole his part. Well, I don't know what really happened, but you know, in the business, they're all sharks, and they never make gift to each other's. So after The Man with the Golden Gun came out, The Spy Who Loved Me, and The Spy Who Loved Me was made alone by Cubby Broccoli. Harry Saltzman retired from the Eon production and retired from the 007 business. Cubby Broccoli ran the game until he died. His last movie was GoldenEye in 1995. After GoldenEye, that production was in the hand of his daughter, Barbara Broccoli, and his son-in-law, Michael G. Wilson. Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli, they got married together, and they run the 007's franchise for since 1995 until now. The last movie was, of course, everyone knows, was No Time to Die. No Time to Die was a kind of very pathetic movie. I didn't like it because James Bond for me was an immortal hero. Finally, they killed 007. I never really dig in the Daniel Craig's era because this guy, he never been for me a real 007. He was short, he was ugly, he was not very charming, and he was not he really had a goon face, I'm sorry to say, but he was more a goon to me. He was more a mugger than a spy with the class of 007. So I never really liked that guy, and I found the situation very silly because what was all about those crazy reboots, and they started to make it live again back on the franchise. Blofeld, the Blofeld was very mediocre, and nothing was special in that movie. It was just a mishmash of everything, and that was maybe the signs of the end of, because when you realize that the franchise is not having that energy that had before, immediately you can feel it. And the last movie, No Time to Die, for me was a rubbish, to be very honest with you, and was a COVID era and all the stuff. And since then, nothing. Nobody talked about it. Nobody came to talk about it. We didn't know what will happen. James Bond will be back, but how he will be back. So everything was very unclear. Uh, so what happened? What happened suddenly pop up a couple of days ago that Jeff Bezos got the rights of the creativities on the James Bond franchise, and now there's a joint venture between Broccoli Wilson and MGM Amazon. Well, I can understand that because Michael J. Wilson, he's now 83 years old. He's a little bit sick, so he's not in the shape to produce a movie anymore. And Barbara Broccoli, she never been a kind of very gifted as her father was. So maybe they are through with the franchise. They are not really through with the franchise because it is still a joint venture, but all the creativity, all the ideas part, all the artistic part, all the selections are in the hand of Amazon Bezos. So, what will, in my opinion, happen? Uh, Very unclear. I'm sorry to say, nothing is decided yet. Nothing is clear now. Everybody talk about it, but who knows what will happen later. Personally, I hope they are going to first to choose a right guy to be 007. My choice, of course, is going for Henry Cavill because Henry Cavill has the stature of 007. He's an Englishman, he's handsome, and he really wanted that job for more than 20 years ago. He even casted for Casino Royale, but he was too young for that. So maybe it's the right time to get the job at last. I hope that will still be a big production and will be on the major screen for me, movie theaters format, because if they are going to make a franchise with the Amazon Prime or streaming, will be the end of 007. And for me, I'm not even going to watch it. I'm not going to even stream it. So as a fan, for me, it will be a pass. Plus, I hope that they are going to adapt new novels from John Gardner or Raymond Benson or Anthony Horowitz. They wrote great books following the legacy of M. Fleming's, and they have a very talented skill. The stories are great, and we really have great materials down there that nobody really dare to go and to adapt, and reboot was the easy choice. And Broccoli Wilson, they just wanted to earn more and more money. They didn't want to even spend a dime to get the rights of novels from Raymond Benson or John Gardner or Anthony Horowitz. And that's a shame because they deserve to be adapted on the silver screen. And really, I hope that this time Jeff Bezos, he will make a right decision to adapt new stories, new novels from or by Benson or by Gardner or by Anthony Horowitz, new materials. We are absolutely in need of new materials. Reboot is enough. James Bond New Era should be the very, very fresh start for all 007's fans. And I hope they are going to make right choices. I hope they are not going to follow the path of wokeism or stuff like that, because politics should not be mixed in the entertainment. James Bond has always been an Englishman. I'm sorry, has always been that way we have to follow, because James Bond rules were set by M. Fleming's, And Fleming's really was a very detailed writer. And no, we should not mix up here the story of races or story of giving a chance to a black actor. I got nothing against a black actor, but I think a black actor as a 007 will not work. The same way that a white actor as Shaft will not work. So we have to follow the rules. Certain rules must be observed here. I'm sorry, guys. This is a legacy. This is a franchise over 60 years, and we cannot revolutionize this by smack of a finger. So I hope that to be really clear. There is nothing against no one. I am not a person who is biased. I am not a person who want to say that somebody has a right, somebody don't have a right. It's just a question that Sherlock Holmes is Sherlock Holmes, 007 is 007, Shaft is Shaft, and they have to be the same way they used to be. In my very humble opinion, take an example. If you take a guy like Jackie Chan playing 007, it will be a little bit phony, it will be a little bit funny. So why we have to do that? So it's the same thing. So 007 should remain an English actor, an English man, and I got nothing against no one, but I think the best choice to be the next 007 is Henry Cavill, and I hope, and even Henry Cavill was, because Jeff Bezos asked to fans of 007 who you want to be the next 007, and everybody voted Henry Cavill. So I hope that he's going to listen, at least to pick up that guy. That guy is handsome, he's classy, and he's only 42 years old, and this is a perfect age to be 007. So those are my thoughts about the next 007. I really hope that they are not going to make a low budget 007, and they are not going to make just the movies for the Prime Amazon or stuff like that, because then the saga will be completely ruined the same way that Disney Studios ruined the saga of Star Wars. This is a pity, and I really hope that something nice will come up out of this. Not sure. I am still very skeptical. The most important thing for me is the who will be 007 and based on what. If they want to do a reboot or a silly other reboot or stuff like that, I pass on. They have to adapt new novels. They have to buy new materials, and they have to come up with something fresh, something new, something unexpected. That's all we need. We will see. This is my thought about the new franchise of 007 made by Broccoli Wilson and Amazon MGM, because they are still in the joint venture. But I think at final, Broccoli Wilson will disappear and everything will be in the hand of Jeff Bezos, because they are tired, they are not interested anymore, and they are not motivated anymore. So that's obvious. Those guys are done. So you cannot ask a person that he is not eager to do something. It's obvious to me. My choice is Henry Cavill. I hope new materials will be adapted. I hope they buy rights from Raymond Benson or Anthony Horowitz or John Gardner, and to make new movies, not movies made for streaming. I hope they make new movies for silver screen as they used to be, because a James Bond movie has always been a big event in the world, and I know that all the premiere in England were fantastic. A premiere with Queen Elizabeth arriving, or with Prince Charles, or with Prince William watching the premiere. So have to be like that. You cannot do other way. 007 is an English iconic hero. 007 is not an American hero. 007 is not Shaft. 007 is not Hercule Poirot. 007 is an iconic English hero. We have to respect the rules. We have to respect the codes of 007. and I hope will be respected by Amazon, MGM from now on. That's my take. That's my final thoughts about the new era of 007. If you have any comments, just drop the comments. Again, thanks to Ben Champion. Unfortunately, he was not among us today. And I hope that he will stream and he will watch this review because he was the guy who inspired me to do that. And I hope really that the new era of 007 will be glorious as past. I am not sure because I'm very skeptical about the future, about the streaming stuff. I never dig in. I'm an old-fashioned guy, old-timer, and I really like to go to movie theater, get my bucket of popcorns, and watch a 007 movie. I don't want to watch at home. I don't want to stream. I just want to go to movie theater. This is my wish. So that's it, my friend. Thanks for listening to me. Have a great time. I don't know how much you are a fan of 007. I'm a big fan. You might know I'm a big fan of vintage fragrances. I'm a big fan of 007. And I am a big fan of the Rat Pack and Frank Sinatra. The one and only one. So until we talk again, God bless you all. Hope you enjoy it. And James Bond will return.